Welcome to The Next Big Star, hosted by James Kelly and Ninon de Rosa. Hello and welcome to The Next Big Star. My name is James Kelly. My co-host is Ninon de Rosa de Vera. De Vera de Rosa.
Ninon
de Vera de Rosa.
They are. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Ninon, one of these days I will get this right.
Well, I think you do it purposely just to make conversation. I think, no, truly, he really does know my name. He's just fooling around. I know what his game is.
So on the show with us today we have Elia Esparaza.
Elia Esparaza.
Elia Esparaza.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Alia Woodson.
Alia Woodson.
That's
my father.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
close.
That's true. Okay. All right. So why don't you start off with telling us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, well, I'm a singer-songwriter from El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
I'm full Mexican. I've been singing my whole entire life. I have a big family that loves to sing as well. And I guess most recently, I was featured on The Voice, La Voz Mexico, and American Idol. Performing is my life. I love it so much, and I'm so happy to be part of this girl group, too.
Okay. So when you were on American Idol and you said The Voice,
Yeah.
were you chosen at all? Or
Yeah, on The Voice, I made a good amount of rounds. I was on Team Adam Levine.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was just an incredible
I had to have seen you
experience.
because I watched that show.
I sang Como la Flor, like I sang in Spanish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So it was a couple years ago, but it really blew up and changed my entire life.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. And for you, Ellie?
Yes, I'm Aaliyah, born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I've been singing all my life as well. I grew up in musical background. My father was late great Alia Woodson from The Temptations. Just growing up, seeing him perform and was just a blessing to me. He's always inspired me in many ways. Grew up, like I said, singing. I was in multiple girl groups, did my solo thing for a little bit, and now I'm blessed to be a part of the Funky Divas.
All right. And Ninon.
Well, I'm now part of the Funky Divas, but I am definitely the silent one. Well, you have two others with you as well, don't you?
Yes, there's
Yes.
two other girls that are
Two
not
other
here right
girls.
now,
So
yeah.
there's four of you that get out there, and you've got a new song coming out there, Dancing in the Streets something? What was it called?
Our new single, Dancing in the Streets, is out right now, but it's going to be officially out on radio next week,
All platforms.
following with a music video and a few more songs as well later down the road. But yeah, we're really excited.
Now, is this a remix of the original? There was a song called Dancing in the
Yes,
Street.
it's from the original, but we redid it completely.
It's in 5 languages, or you speak 5 different languages?
Yeah, we feature 5 different languages.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
so cool.
Yeah.
So when you hear it, it's definitely different from the original, but of course we take the original.
Whose idea was it to use 5 different languages in the song?
It was our manager's idea, Terry Harris. Yeah. She was the one that was like, we have to do Russian and Portuguese and French and Spanish and stuff. So she was the one that really wanted to do that.
That's kind of neat.
I think it's very cool. But when you talk about the radio, you're talking about the radio worldwide. They're talking about every station, not just one station.
Yeah.
They're talking about, because I asked the same question, and they said, no, all radio, every station. So how did you manage to get on every single station?
It's really our manager. She's the wizard.
Yeah.
She is, and she never
She's
stops.
the one that
No, I
never
know.
stops
I know.
talking.
Never stops.
Yeah.
No.
We're thankful for that for sure,
Yeah.
but she gets everything done. So.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah. She's got a phenomenal career. I mean,
Yeah.
her background as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Her
Yes.
and my father were friends for a long time. That's how I
Yeah.
know Terry.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Who was it that she knew with the Raiders?
She was one of the Raiderettes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she actually ended up being a coach for the Raiderettes at one time.
Yeah, I think she did a lot of the choreography and stuff like that
Yeah.
for them. She's the reason we're able to work with such awesome people on this project, including Chucky Booker and
Al McKay.
Yeah, and
Kevin
just like all these
Dorsey.
producers and writers, and so it's been
They're
fun.
pretty lucky, these girls, aren't they? You kind of...
You know, and
Yeah.
that's what's interesting about the entertainment business. Like, a lot of times it is luck, and it also is connections. The networking.
Well, it's who you know,
is-
not what you know sometimes.
Sometimes,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
helps to have a voice, though.
Well,
You know
oh,
they
they-
have
We're
a
blessed to
voice.
have
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're
Yeah.
just really blessed.
But the
Yeah.
sad thing is you can have that voice and still not get discovered sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know that if you were on 2 different competitions.
Yeah,
so-
I mean, it's like the talent is part of it, but the hard work is what kind of
Does it?
keeps you there, networking, meeting people, and things like that.
Well, they're going into the studio, aren't you, tomorrow or the next
Tomorrow.
day? They're going to be in the studio from, 1 p.m. to 1 a.m.?
Yep. We have
They're
a
going
full day.
24 hours in a studio. You can't say that's not dedication.
Right.
That is dedication. Are you going to let them sing a little bit if you
Yeah,
had
sure.
them?
You want to do a bit of
We
the...
could do
Sure,
a little bit of
yeah,
dancing in the
yeah.
streets.
Yeah.
Go on, do a bit of dancing in the streets.
All right, 5, 6. All we need is music, music a dulce. There'll be music everywhere.
We're laughing and singing and music swinging, dancing in the street. Oh, it doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. I got on Chico, I got on a una chica, todos en el mundo en la calle seguita bailando.
Dançamos nas ruas,
We're dancing
in the streets. Yeah.
That's great.
I had to have. They're so amazing.
I know
but
they are.
They're so
Yeah.
natural, though. You're, well, natural born singers.
Yeah.
Thank
You know.
you.
So who did the arrangement for this?
It was with Terry Harris and Chucky Booker. They're the ones that kind
So
of like...
she was hands-on with that as well.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she's
Oh,
very
she's
hands-on.
hands-on with everything.
I
everything.
can see that.
But-
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is our,
Yeah.
Wow. How did you discover her, or how did she discover you?
You guys knew each other,
Yeah.
but she found me actually through someone I met on American Idol, and they reached out to me and they're like, hey, this woman is looking for a Latina singer, even though I live in Texas, but she's out in LA. And so I met her, and then from there on, we just kind of
Wow.
meshed
That's
and
cool.
kept
So
going. Yeah.
what about the other two that are on the album or the record with you? I don't know what they call them anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
CDs, whatever
The
they are.
group, the
anymore.
project.
Yeah, on the project with
I
you.
know,
There
right?
we go. The download.
Yeah. So it's Tania and Anatalia. We're all Ias.
Yeah, we are. always.
And they couldn't make it today, unfortunately, because they had other plans.
So is the E is on purpose, or
No, I think it just happened.
It just happened. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
happened.
But they're great. I think the cool thing about our voices is you can really distinctly tell who's singing.
singing.
Yeah.
I mean, like once you know who we are, you're like, oh, that's Tania, that's Elia,
Yeah.
that's Alia. Like,
Well, that's because you sing separately. I mean, you all harmonize and then one sings.
Yeah.
but they do have a distinct voice. Too.
They all,
do.
each
Yeah.
one of them, they all
Yeah.
have a very different voice, but a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
But you also dance as well and choreograph and do
yeah.
all that as well.
Yeah.
It's a whole performance.
It's a
Yeah,
whole
it's a whole thing.
production.
Who did the choreography?
we haven't started with the choreography just yet, but
Okay.
Terry
You
is
had
in
to.
charge of it.
Tara's in
We
charge.
have great choreographers on board that we're
But
excited over.
we're going to start performing. We are supposed to have shows in October
Uh-huh.
here in Vegas, actually, and also LA.
LA,
and
Beverly Hills, Pasadena.
Basically everything we couldn't do during COVID.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, now
Um,
that orders have been lifted, now we're going to be able to start performing.
Did that slow you at all down when you came to putting this whole project together?
Oh, for sure.
It did. Okay.
Well, we were still working.
we were
and,
still
like,
working, yeah.
We have dates booked, but like we just couldn't do them,
right.
obviously.
Yeah.
But we were still in the studio. We were still doing photo shoots, filming the video, and things like that.
So you were working towards
we were
getting
still
the project
working, of
finished.
course. Yeah, we were still
Okay.
working
Yeah.
towards the
That's-
project.
Didn't
Yeah.
slow them down one bit.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
What's the next step? I know you're going to studio tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's for a different song?
Yes.
Okay.
We're working on a whole album, but
Okay.
I mean, our main thing right now is like releasing this song and the music video, and then hopefully soon, within a couple of months, we'll release another song and continue to just kind of put out music and grow our names and do shows.
Start
So what is the
performing.
show in October? Is that a show collaborating with all your songs? And
Yeah, by then we'll have more songs out and also have.
Is that a
actual songs.
fundraiser? I think there's a fundraiser coming up in October.
I think
yeah,
so.
it has
yeah.
to deal
Yeah.
with breast cancer, I think.
Yeah, Terry mentioned we were going to be doing some stuff with the Raiders because I know now they're here in Vegas, and so we'll probably be performing one of their halftime shows.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that would be
oh,
cool.
awesome!
Yeah.
Well, you
Oh
got to
my
let us know so we can go.
Oh,
yeah,
we
absolutely.
definitely-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Look
right.
at me at
Come
that one.
dance with us in the street.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that would
gotta!
be fun.
I've
He's
got to
totally-
see that one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta
Great,
see.
yeah.
Oh, I'm a
You.
good dancer. I'm good. I
I'm
want
not.
to see.
It's okay, we'll teach you.
Well,
I'll
we'll
just stand
dance
there and you guys
together.
dance around me.
No, James
we
and
go.
I will dance together.
Yes.
We'll make a real mess of it.
Like I said, I will stand there and you can dance. I'll move back and forth. How's
There
that?
you go. That's
Fair
all you
enough,
have to
fair
do.
enough.
That's all you have to do.
So you're having fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's definitely an adventure.
So I know you're both performing for a while, even before you got together with this.
Yeah.
For you, because I'm always curious when you're on these game shows, and I'm going to ask you something in a minute.
Okay.
When you're on the game shows, is it really stressful? I mean, because you hear that all the time, how stressful it is, and everything's fast paced. But it seems like there would have to be time in recordings before you start doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's more stressful in the fact you're finally in a position where your dreams could come true and everything you've dreamed about, the crowds and working with people and the vocal coaches, working with the bands. It's amazing. It is stressful, but there was definitely, like with The Voice, they were great. They really gave us time, days off, time to prepare. American Idol, they stress you out. American Idol's goal is to stress you out. They are like...
Would that be because of Simon?
No, he wasn't even there when I was on the show. It was like on the new one, but they just love, I mean, they put you in a position to see like,
Can you handle it?
Can you handle this? Can you stay up all night and then sing at 6 a.m. and then wait all day and do nothing and then sing again at midnight? That's
Oh,
Because they say
lovely.
that's the life when you're on the road.
Because that is the life,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that one was really way more intense. The Voice was like a vacation.
Well, that's good to hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
you know. And for you, did you ever think about doing any of those competitions?
I definitely auditioned. My first audition, I was 12. My dad actually helped me with that for America's Got Talent. So that's the last amazing memory that I get to share with him. But I was in a girl group prior to this one a few years back, and we actually auditioned for America's Got Talent again. But, you know, it was definitely very nerve-wracking because when you go in those auditions, their faces are just like poker face. Like, you don't know. You can't tell if they like you. So you really have to make sure you're wowing them. Like, just they do that on purpose because they try to discourage you to see if you can handle it under pressure. But they ended up loving us. We got a call back. Unfortunately, we didn't make it, but that was just a blessing.
Yeah, but
in
having a
itself.
call back is pretty...
Exactly.
Wow.
So just the whole experience was amazing. Yeah.
Well, what is it like, though? Because it has to play on your mind a little bit.
It does,
And let's just
for
be
sure.
honest.
Oh, yeah.
When
Oh, it
you
does.
don't get called back or you don't make it to a certain level, how does that mess with your psyche? Because you're trying to get your career off the ground and keep going. Because I know I'm dealing
you're
with someone
right.
right now who had 20 concerts canceled because of COVID.
Wow.
And what happens with that is you're thinking, now what? Because this was my time to go out there and shine. I was
Exactly.
just starting the career, and now I had 20 concerts canceled, and I don't even get to prove myself.
Yeah.
So it's like starting all over again.
It is. So it's got to be somewhat the same way. Like, how does that affect you?
So I went to acting school in New York when I was like 17.
Well, that helps, I'm sure.
And it was like school of rejection, basically. Like I just
They
got
prepare
so
It's like learning
used-
how to fall when you ski.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. Like, so I spent a lot of years going to auditions, being denied, being put down, and
How
not-
to fail.
Yeah,
Right.
And so by the time I made it to The Voice, not that I was like, I'm concrete and I have no emotions. I was a wreck when I lost and got off the show. But I think ever since then, it's been kind of like, it's not the end. It's not the end. You just have to keep going.
Wow, no.
No matter what happens. And so I've kind of built that mentality through living in New York as an actor and then going to those shows and kind of knowing I probably won't win, but I'm going to take the most advantage I can of this situation.
But I'm going to tell you what it does do. Once you get past that initial rejection,
Yeah.
it does build your confidence in that you know you did something most people don't get a chance to do.
Yeah.
And you know, you've had Lou Gazzara on your show.
Yes.
He was on this show
Yes.
for the Next Big
Yes,
Star.
he was.
And he was a runner-up, I think it was American Idol.
My American, yes.
You know, but he hasn't stopped.
No, you
know, he
can't.
took that platform and he used it to his advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the lesson there is. Don't let that get in your head.
You can't.
Well,
If you do,
You can't.
Yeah.
You have to just talk to yourself and tell yourself, no, I am good.
I've gotta go back again.
I'm going to do it
Yeah.
again. I'm going to keep going. Don't get discouraged. You know what I mean? Because
Someone's going to turn around and say, wow, and look what's happened to both of you. And also the other two. Look,
Yeah.
look where you are now.
Yeah.
And yet you've both been through all those rejections,
Right.
which you actually have built a level of that to
Yeah.
take it,
It
and
does
handle it.
level
Yeah.
of tough skin.
it does. It
toughens up the
helps.
skin.
Yeah, it helps build tough skin. And a lot of big artists have gotten
Oh, I'm
no's,
sure,
several
yeah.
no's. You know what I mean? So you can't get discouraged. I know it is discouraging, but you just got to keep going.
well, you know, the female singer in Lady A, I think it was American Idol, she was rejected like 7 times.
Yeah.
And look at her career. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
With Lady A. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
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 Formerly Lady Annabelle.
I love
Yeah.
Lady
that.
Annabella.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So you just don't give up. You
Yeah.
But
just
that's
don't.
life, though.
Yeah.
That's everyday life. You can't give up.
Did you
You've
know
got
that
to keep going.
Lucille Ball was told she took acting classes in New York City, and she was from Albany, I believe.
Yeah.
She took acting classes, and her coach literally told her, "You will never be an actress. You cannot do this."
That's hilarious.
And she ended up the biggest comedian out
Yeah.
there. A woman
Yeah.
comedian.
Probably to this day still known as the biggest
Yeah.
comedian.
Yeah.
Well, Beyonce's first album, they said you don't have one hit on this album, and she had at least 5.
What
That's
a fool
crazy.
they were,
I
right?
mean, like, so the biggest artists get
Yeah.
Yeah.
the, most, the
get
worst
re-
letdown.
Yeah,
You know
they
what
get
I mean?
rejected. Everybody
Yeah.
gets rejected. But
Well,
Yeah.
success is the best revenge. Is that what
Exactly.
they say?
Yeah.
Something like
Exactly.
that.
Proving people wrong. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess in life, we have to look at life this way. We're always going to get rejections. There's always going to be someone who has to make that decision.
Yes.
And it could have just been something that was happening that day in your
Right.
life, a thought, or
Right.
something tragic happened. We don't know what affects people. So it may not even been you
You.
at your moment. You know,
Right.
it was just happened to be at your worst moment or something.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is life.
Yeah.
But you learn
But
to get
you
past
learn
it
that.
and you go.
You-
Right.
I was talking about that today on one of my guests on the other show I was doing. And I said, you know, when these things happen, learn by it. Don't reject it and say, be all miserable. Learn by it, because you can learn by the things that are bad. You can also learn by the things that are good. We always look at the things that are good.
Yeah.
But the things that are bad teaches us. They teach us how to cope with it and how to move forward.
But I'm going to tell you, and I know I've been in your shoes in a different aspect as a writer, actually as a radio host. You will get 100 people who write great comments about you, but that one negative, you focus so much on that one
I know,
negative.
yeah.
And you always remember it.
You always remember it.
And I want to write them the meanest letter.
Right. You're like, no, don't do it.
So I usually just delete it. But
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing you should do
I
is
do
write
not
a
wanna see
nasty
it
thing
again.
back.
Right.
But and then I'm thinking they're wrong. They don't even, and they're like, why do I even have to explain that?
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
forget it
Just
and
forget
move
it,
on.
move
you
on.
know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And that ladies, this is going to happen again. There's always going to be someone out there who's going to be a
Oh,
critic.
yeah.
There's always going to be some day that's just bumpy, and you just have to get past
You
that
do.
and move on.
The strong
Yeah.
ones do.
Yeah.
Don't dwell on the negative. Just keep moving
Keep
forward.
moving
And 9
forward.
out of 10, it's not even about you. You know what I mean? People
Well, it's
hurting
usually
people
them.
like to hurt people. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I like to just continue to spew out love. You know what I mean? And just I'll say I'll pray for you. You
Keep
know what I
mov-
mean? Because
keep
you just don't
moving
know what
forward.
we're going through. You know what I
Right.
mean? And just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Well, on YouTube, I understand at one point you had like 3,000 comments on there, and I guess they removed them because they thought maybe it was a robo thing. Where
Something
and-
weird. Yeah.
And I think that's unfortunate too, because you do want recognition.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's what we all live for, really, is some form of recognition,
Yeah.
even if it's just a pat on the back from a
Right,
family member or
something.
something.
Exactly.
At least something.
Yeah,
Right.
something. So that hurts too, but at the same time, you know what? You may have lost 3,000 comments on your YouTube, but next year you're going to have 1 million fans
There you
clamoring
go.
to
There
be,
you go.
be able to
Exactly.
write something on there.
Yeah. I just feel like when things like negative or bad or setbacks happen, this is just part of the journey.
It is.
And I've never thought to myself, I'm like, why am I doing this? I know I'm doing it, but I've come to realize it's just part of the journey. It's not A to B. It's A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many steps and like things that we have to go through to eventually get to the place where we're like, oh, I know why it took me so long to get here, but I'm prepared mentally, emotionally, all of that.
And you have so much more. You're both very young,
Yeah.
so you're going to have relationships to go through as you go through your careers. And trust me, there will probably be something that comes along in the way, like it's
Yeah.
going to interfere with that.
There's always
No.
something
It's
coming
life,
along.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
life.
Yeah.
You know, 4 of you have been gifted with a
Yes.
voice and being gifted with what you have, and now you're sharing it. You know, that's what we all want to see, because not everybody has a gift like you both have, and also the other two. And now you're sharing it with everybody else, and that is a gift to be able to do that. So sometimes when you look at the negatives, they're not really negatives at all.
Yeah.
There's always
No.
there's,
Yeah.
you know,
So as long as you always have that attitude that,
Yeah.
life will get better no matter what.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to always have that positive.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah,
look at
there
the
you
bigger
go.
picture of things, even if the picture doesn't look so great.
So how long has the group been working together?
It's been about a year and a half.
And so how are the dynamics between the 4 of you?
It's been really good. I mean, we all get along really well. We're all in a similar age and we all have similar interests. We all have our own personalities. Kind of COVID has kind of stretched things out and we're all kind of in different places. Like I'm in Texas, she's in LA. One of the other girls is in Atlanta, but we keep in touch.
So it's like a sisterhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was just kind of like once we all met, it was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, you like music? Oh, you can sing? Okay, cool. This is fun. And there's never been like any drama or anything. And
Oh,
it's
good.
been
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel also like the times now, like the cattiness and all that, like it's not a thing.
It's not
Like,
a thing.
In some ways, we always talk about how sometimes COVID can be a positive thing. So if anything else, it's probably taught us how to get along in a different way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're more in a home now. I mean,
Right.
we're
Yeah.
all stuck in our homes.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now, but so how can anybody get hold of you?
Our music is on Spotify and it's on YouTube under the Funky Divas
Okay.
and under like all streaming platforms basically. And if you want to contact us, you'd have to contact our manager, Terry Harris.
Do you know what her contact information is? Is there a website?
I don't think we have a website.
Yeah.
I don't want to like give out her number
know,
and be
right?
like,
Hold on,
"Call
don't
her."
give out her
Let me ask you
number.
this then.
Yeah.
Do you have Facebook pages?
Yes.
I have Instagram.
We have
Okay.
Instagram.
Well, why don't you give us that? They can contact you through that.
Yeah, mine is Alia Woodson. That's ALIAHWOODSON.
Okay.
And mine is Elia Esparaza Music. So it's ELIAESPARZA Music.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Ninon, you're
Yeah.
on so many shows. But,
I don't know which one.
yeah.
What one am I on now? Where am I?
It is the next big
Yeah,
star.
it is
and
the
I think
next-
these young
this is the
ladies are
next
well
big
on their
star.
way.
Well,
Thank
you talk about the next big star. They already are stars. You already are. They already are amazing. They were on my show, Vegas Live with Ninon. You were on my show about a year ago.
Yeah.
And then they just came back again because they've got this big radio thing coming out. I thought it was just one station. It's not. It's the world. They're going to be on the world. So that's absolutely awesome. But don't forget to tune in Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host.
All right. And if you want to know more about our shows, just go to allaspectsradionetwork.com. That's allaspectsradionetwork.com. And ladies, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you
We
so
really
much for
appreciate it.
having us.
All right.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
All right.
This was
Thank you,
a blast.
James.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
James
you.
Kelly.
Thank
Next time
you.
we'll have to do
host.
this again.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.